or hittinghardradio.com.
Pitch Control.
The Morning Shift, MKE Uncut on hittinghardradio.com.
Let me ask you something. Would you like to build a podcast? And if you have one built, wouldn't you like to get as much exposure for it as possible? Because HiddenHeartRadio.com is plug-in local and national podcasters with the opportunity for more web and radio exposure. With our staff of cameramen and audio experts, we supply the technical tools needed for your podcast to reach a much wider audience. Now, you have a studio set location and access to professionals using professional equipment to film and record your show. And you get to go and upload it wherever you want. But I bet you're wondering how much all this top-notch access will cost you. Well, that's the special part, $60 an hour. That's right. You can access our studio, our staff members, and our equipment for $60 an hour to film and record your podcast. So let me ask you again. Would you like to build a podcast? Good. Call 414-366-7102. That's 414-366-7102 to make an appointment with Eleazar Maldonado to get you started.
Assalamu alaikum. I am Sister Rebecca.
Assalamu alaikum, and welcome to the Milwaukee Islamic Dawah Center.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Yamin Talib Muhammad.
My name is Doris White. I've been with the Dawah Center for about 15 years. Okay. Yogurt.
Since 2017, our food pantry program continues to reach to thousands of families and individuals. In 2021, we distributed over 1 million pounds of food and impacted over 100,000 individuals.
We've been serving our community for years with our pantry.
We have a pantry here on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, about 9:30, 10 o'clock.
We were awarded a $30,000 grant to purchase a 27-foot truck, as you see here, 27-footer, as well as a 17-footer over here that we use to provide food services throughout the city of Milwaukee County. With the help of Allah and a great team of volunteers, our pantry continues to combat food insecurity in our community.
Everybody like it. They love it. And not only like it, they love it. A lot of the same people, a lot of new people. And we see a lot of new people when we are on Hampton. That's when we see a lot of new people, but mostly the same people here. Every third Wednesday of the month, they give a big giveaway. We even give twice as what you see today.
The donations that you have given and continue to give us fuel the work that we do. And we can't say thank you enough. So I'm like,
may Allah reward you and your families for your continued support in this life at the next. Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan Mubarak.
This is HittingHardRadio.com.
Good morning, grand risings. Man, all those things you say, man, to the folks you rock with and love in the AM. What do you mean? It's Friday. Juma Mubarak to my Muslim brothers and sisters. Man, y'all make sure y'all check out that Deen Bop, man, on your way to the mosque for Juma. We're leaving in that 1 o'clock hour. We dedicate that to all the Muslim brothers in music. So we'll get a lot of that, man, them halal remixes and things like that for those of you who fans of that. It's Friday, y'all. And of course, I got my brother Ram on the phone. Rick Alim Muhammad, man, my brother over there from the Ram Report. We've been chopping it up this morning. I actually had another conversation with another person from the Muslim community this morning, and we'll talk about that shortly. But first and foremost, Assalamu alaikum, Maki.
Walaikum salam, brother. How you doing?
Oh, alhamdulillah, man. Alhamdulillah. It's a beautiful day, you know?
Yeah, brother. You always ask me, am I up, brother? You always be up. Why we got to ask that question, brother?
Yeah, let me see if he woke as you woke.
We got duties. We got duties at 5.
Yeah.
that don't stop.
Hey, you know how I go though. Sometimes, man, you finish that last record, man. You make it do why, and man, hey, sometimes you might wake up right next to the rug. You
Right, well,
go
that's true. That's
hurry
true.
up,
That's
go
true.
right back to sleep.
Yeah, true. Yeah, yeah. Sometimes.
It be like that.
That's mostly in the wintertime. Summertime, brother, sun coming up, and it's beautiful. You hear the birds chirping, squirrels running around, animals and stuff, man. Sometimes it's just like, oh man, let me just go on and get another cup of coffee.
Yeah,
And like, boom, let's get at it. Yes,
yeah.
sir.
Definitely, man. But yeah, like I was saying, man, before we punched in, I was having a conversation with one of the sisters from the community, man. Actually, we've been having a conversation trying to figure the angle on which to come with the things she want to share and educate the people with. And today we decided that we was gonna talk about the things she survived, what she been through, and how she survived it, and man came out of it and turned that pain into power. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And typically, man, we ain't really having these conversations. You know what I mean? Like, especially not publicly from within the Islamic community out to the public like that. But so it was reservations about that as well.
Right.
But like you say, sometimes that works to the benefit of the
Right.
of the oppressor. You know what I mean? Because when you know how it go, man. You know, when you know the rules, you know what I mean. You know how to bend them and make them work for you. If you on bullshit, you on bullshit. You know.
Right.
So I get both aspects of it. You know what I mean. And like I say, I come from a time where what go on in this house stay in this house. You know what I mean. And I was, I'm a believer of that. You know what I mean. Like, I understand it. You know what I mean? I know why it was in place. I ain't fooled with the reasons they put out there or the way situations start changing. I understand it's things going on that do cause for it, but even if people knew the history behind it, even when those type of things happen, you had uncles and you had that uncle or two or cousin or two who they was the ones who handled that, and that's the reason why we'll go on this house, stay in this house, because we gonna take care of that. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I think part of breaking the black man down and making us seem weak and not protectors is, man, allowing them to kill that, because it was more to what go on in this house, stay in this house. It was because we was handling it. You know what I mean? But
True.
that's another conversation. But yeah, so the sister gonna come, and it's a known sister in the community. I'm not gonna release her name just yet. When the flyer hit, y'all gonna have to follow me on social media, man. Y'all should be over there anyway. HiddenHardRadio.com, Hidden Hard Radio on Facebook, man. Like, follow, subscribe. So when this information come out, and it's homegrown. She from right here, from the Muslim community right here in Milwaukee. So it's homegrown. This ain't a overseas issue. You know what I mean? It's something going that somebody experienced right here, and she want to share her experience with other sisters who may be going through what she going through or went through, I should say, and help them get out of it, motivate them to turn their pain into power. You know what I mean? And
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
things like that.
Well, there's a couple things we got to look at, and I'm not saying that I'm being an adversary to our Muslim sisters, because I hold them in special regard.
Yes.
Always, they're the flowers of Allah's garden, and it's a couple. So, Islam in America, in the community, got like maybe 3 different tiers. You know what I mean? and our Muslims that come here from the East, they don't really intermingle with us. So it's like a wall right there, right? You got the Nation of Islam to have the proper protocol of how we as men and women should engage. And then you have the Sunni Muslim community that are Muslim. It's kind of like in the middle, because the way that the NOI and the Muslims from the East do things is pretty much the same. But that group in the middle is kind of remnant of both sides when we talk about family. You understand what I'm saying? Talk about family. So like in the NOI, for instance, you still have high concentrations of marriages, people being married for a long time, very low in divorce, just like it is in the traditional Muslim family. But you got to remember, you got people that convert, that come to Islam, and whatever they were dealing with in the world, they bring with them. So of course you're going to have women that's coming with children. Coming with children, which in the NOI we prefer, and we know it's best that you have children after marriage. So we still struggle with that. And going forward, when I look at a lot of the domestic issues in our community when it comes to marriage and relationships, the having the children before the marriage, that's something that's still not. It's not a lot of clarity with the couple in the beginning, or in the beginning it could be, but the way it weighs out towards the end, sometimes it's not. So when you talk about domestic violence, it's two sides of a coin, and in most cases, it's the men that catch the brunt of it, because if they get physical with their hands, that could definitely weigh against them in a court of law or in Sharia. In Sharia. Now, what I say also is when we look at our communities today, as far as in Islam, one of the things I will see, is this. You see more men, less women. That's all across the board. The question is always being raised as well, why aren't more women recruiting more women across the country? And they're not.
That's a good question.
So,
just like one second. I made an observation. I think we talked about it before when I was telling you, like, I follow some of the members of the community down in like Georgia, and one thing I got to notice, and it was like the sisters down there was like real active. You know what I mean? Not saying that none here ain't. I'm just saying I was noticing that, like, they was, the things they was posting, what they was doing, how they was hitting the streets. You know what I mean? And that caught my attention.
Well, right. Well, I mean, that's a good thing, something to catch your attention. Is that? Then you have to ask yourself, well, if that's happening there, what is the struggle in Milwaukee in particular? We won't speak on Milwaukee because we're not in no other place.
Right.
And then when you look at it, well, let's say if our community is 20,000, that's everybody. How are we impacting the community? Other than the meetings that the nation have on Sunday, they had a men's class on Monday night. Supposed to have a class Saturday morning, and then you have Wednesday meeting, and you have a study group on Friday. And then the Sunni community, of course, you have Jumu'ah on Friday. Today's the holy day of Jumu'ah. And then during the week, you have Maghrib. You can go and pray after 5 times a day. And then when you ask, this is all tying into what we're talking about, because the more you're around people that think like you, then you can start exercising the laws of Islam. Because a reminder is a blessing that the Holy Prophet says. Mashallah. When we amongst each other, you say, brother, you should or should be doing, sister, have you thought about this, X, Y, Z? But when there's not a congregation of us and we go to mosque and we back out here in the world, sometimes we get influenced by the world, even those of us who are participants but not active. Because it's a difference. Because last time I visited the ISM on the south side about 2 months ago, was down there for an event, and I was just noticing the children. Then I look at the children over here, and their children is excelling in school. Ours is not.
What's to it?
They're failing. Whether they're from Africa or some of the Caribbean places, or right here in America, even though they have some other stuff going on, Sunday school, stuff like that. But academically, we are failing. We're failing. So we come to domestic violence in our community, in our homes. How much Islam is being carried out in the home once you leave the mosque? If you visit the house of a Muslim sister, what did it look like? Going over there.
Hey, I ain't never visited the house of a Muslim sister.
I'm just saying, it's common. Like sometimes people have gatherings, like they may have dinners and little cookouts and stuff like that. I'm just saying the protocol. Is it peace in the house?
Right. I know. I'm just making light of the situation.
Yeah. I'm just saying this is all tied into it. And then, when you having drama, and trauma comes with drama, it rhymes with each other. You look at the people that she's socializing with too. So what I always look at, is this. Why is there so few Sunni Muslim sisters that are Black American in Milwaukee?
Say that again.
Why is there so few Muslim sisters that are that are converts? I don't call them converts. I say that we are Muslims, as the Quran says. Our parents that make us Christians do one of the footnotes in the Holy Quran because of what happened to us. Because we know Christianity is not a Black religion, so we born Muslim up under Allah. So I'm just saying that in regard to the conversation, we look at the full scope of everything, getting into this domestic violence and then the abuse and how it's dealt with. It's because the units, the numbers are so small to the point where it's almost even, small. We just say small. And you and I, we have interacted with the Dawah Center, some other places for years, and we've had these conversations on various topics, including this. Well, not so much this topic, it's so much, but like I said, going forward, when we look at this, it's like, well, wow. So.
But when we was kicking these things off, we had that conversation when I told you, I want the brothers and sisters from the community to come. I want the brothers and sisters with knowledge. I want the sheikhs, the imams. You know what I mean? I want the people who we normally don't get to speak to. We don't, I ain't gonna say get to speak to, get to hear from. They don't get a microphone put in their face and get allowed to tell their stories. Those are the people I'm looking for. You know what I mean? And I'm open to all the topics. You know what I mean?
Right.
Be it however difficult they is. They gotta happen. You know what I mean? It's gonna be some people that don't like it. It's gonna be some people that understand. You know me, man. One way or the other, I'm me. So it ain't.
Well, one of our problems I see is we got division and separation
Yeah.
between NOI, Sunni, and you got division and separation between brothers from America and from these other countries, even though they don't talk about it.
Yeah.
But it's there.
Yeah.
I mean, we got a lot of beautiful sisters from Nigeria and Kenya, and from the places like Morocco and Pakistan. We don't never even see them.
Yeah.
You don't see them.
Yeah.
Not really even during Ramadan, unless you go to a mosque where they go to. You don't see them. Now during Ramadan, you know, people moving around. But should that be the only time?
Right.
So we close quarters with our same group of people, and then we have these trauma issues from slavery that's on us, and it's not, the mosque is not dealing with it in a healthy way. I mean, you can deal with it Quranically, but then you still got to lay some law down based on the current time and what's happening now, and I don't think it's happening.
Yeah.
So, and the Dawah Center has a little different situation than ISM. ISM got Muslims coming from all over the world. We still have a lot of our people from our community, and we still have a lot of brothers that's coming from prison. And a lot of them are bringing. You need a family therapist.
Yeah.
You need a family therapist in the Dawah Center.
Now, at what point, if I'm not mistaken, at one point some years ago, there were social services there, right? Like, because it was more things like offices, I want to say, or whatever they had going on in the basement before the flood.
In the beginning.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the beginning. Because they had living quarters there too. You know, and yeah, they did have professional people there doing stuff in the beginning. You're right. They did. And so that was a mainstay. And some of these people are still around. But what I'm saying, when you look at the root of what's going on there, we know we can elevate our people through Islam and make them better people. But if you don't have the people there that can perform or do those things to make it happen, those problems still stay there. And you pray, and you put a thobe on, or you put a kufi on, and you go into the positions of prayer. But if those other things not being handled, they're still there. They're still there. And one of the problems, one of the issues I had with some of the stuff that I saw there early on was certain people shouldn't get married. I'm just being real about it. When I would see, I'd be looking like, wow.
Since we brought up that, let's talk to me about that. What does that look like inside the nation? Like, how does one inside the nation go about selecting a wife? You know what I mean? Like, or vice versa, selecting a husband. Like, what's the process?
Okay. And well, it's a courtship process.
Yeah, what's that? What that look like? I'm not familiar with how they get down.
Well, it's more of a process like you see a sister you want to marry, get a wali, they go talk to her. Like in the Muslim country, the wali be like a person in the mosque, a respected person in the mosque, say, we have a brother over here that's interested, and then they bring y'all together. Y'all never alone. You're never alone. When you go to the movies, out to dinner, what have not, and then at a certain point you may decide you want to engage, and then the marriage process takes place. But then you got to remember, in the East, a lot of the marriages are contracted, not contract, but the families know each other.
Uh-huh.
They know each other. You know, like you grow up seeing, even in some of the other higher class cultures, you see that. Like in the upper class among Caucasians, you see that. When you get below that, it's all willy-nilly. Like what we doing now is all willy-nilly.
Uh-huh.
And it's not working. It's not. The hip-hop culture, way how you look at with somebody, it's not working. It's not. It's drama. It's trauma. So,
But I mean, even let's go a little bit further.
so then they have a marriage. It'd be a nice ceremony. It'd be nice.
Before we hold on one second. Before we get to the ceremony part, let's go a little bit further into the beginning, because you guys have, like you mentioned, the men's group, or then you have like how you call the sister, MGT things like, yeah, you got all these different training courses, and that's, so that in my mind, that's all part of it, you know what I mean, because it's
absolutely.
So yeah, so tell us even about, let's go from that beginning to even preparing a young man to become a husband, preparing a young woman to become a wife.
Well, you go through processing class, you really being taught everything that you was never taught in a white man's schools, or even these schools that are ran by black people, what they teach white curriculum. And this is the culture itself. So you being rebuilt. Someone take Windows 98 out and putting Windows 2003 in. And it don't happen all overnight. It's over. It's a lot of what you see, you hear, you read. Repetition is the mother of learning. So you keep hearing something over and over and over again. Then you start seeing things, and you start moving different. So and that's happening with the women. Not just that, but even domestic side. Like how you take care of the house, how you take care of yourself, how you even clean yourself. Everything we're doing is mimicked on white people. Everything. That's all we know. I mean, even how you go to the bathroom. We do things the way Caucasians teach. Now, to a certain degree, we take it and say, well, I'm going to change this to this. But the proper way, no, we don't know. Just like a lot of stuff you learn when you came into Islam. You're like, well, y'all do that? What? The way we eat. Or what we should be eating. All that got to be reprogrammed through Master Farad Muhammad. When you say God in person, he came and reset the standard. Remember, we got knocked in the head. We were brought over here. They took all that away. All of it, to break us down. So now you're becoming how to become a man, a woman, that sort of thing. And so if you're already an adult, you start looking, you start seeing single women that's not married. You inquire, oh man, what about this sister? And then the sister agrees. Sometimes she may not be interested, but that's a process that works. Because we have people in the NOI right now that have been married 60 years, 55 years, 70 years. They may, normally if a brother do divorce, he'll marry another Muslim sister.
Yeah.
Maybe she's not a Muslim sister in the NOI, but he gonna marry mother. Sometimes they marry mother sisters from another country because what's being taught, it's the same.
Yeah.
You rarely see a brother that's in a Muslim go marry one of these hip hop type sisters or these professional type black women from the world. They just not, because it's just too much that they not gonna know, and that he probably don't even want to deal with.
Yeah.
Then when you talk about raising the children, it's different, and you got to have a buy-in. And I believe one of the struggles that black women face here is the Muslim women community got to be stronger, and they should unite with some of the Muslim women from these other cultures, and she might even pick up learning a language. Because when you learning the deen, now you got to go back to that hell environment. It's pressure on them women. unless they live alone. So they left the church, or they was in the church. Now they in the deen, and Islam got a Quran, wearing a hijab, all beautiful color hijab. How will we see you think that is by their mamas and grandmamas and their friends and stuff like that?
Right.
It's not. That's the part I want to hear about. Because it's isolation. So now you got to start to build a community. Where the businesses at? It's to be business where our sisters can work at. In the mother community, you don't hear about that because they got that. They got that. All the Iranians is over here, and these other cultures. Where are they women at? We don't see them. Every once in a while, you might see one come down to a store or making a bank run or something like that, but rarely that ever happens. Never see them.
Now
Well,
within the nation, what's it like if there's a disagreement in the household, like the spouses are having issues, and you know what I mean, things ain't working out. What's that process like?
If spouses are having issues, normally what happens is first, they'll have a meeting with the mosque, assistant mosque, or minister, and let them know what the problem is, and then they will okay, here we have this issue in the household. They be the arbitrator, as it says in the Quran. You get 3 or 4 people, and they have some counseling, and the goal is hopefully to get some resolve on that. And in most cases, there is a resolve. There is a resolve. So, I'm not saying it don't happen, but in most cases, the 2 people that do marry, normally they have a lot in common. And what I'm finding out now is the younger Muslims that marry, they're staying together longer. So I'm talking about Muslims that get married like in their 20s and 30s. The tougher group is like my group that's probably been married and want to marry again. It's tougher in my group. It's tougher. And most brothers in my group, they will marry maybe a sister from another culture, because they would probably want to marry somebody younger. And in Islam, that's common. And then the multiple wife thing, that's not working in America like that, like it would in another country. One reason because it takes money.
Yeah.
You got to be a pretty wealthy Muslim to take care of 2 women, and say if you got 2 households or something like that. That costs a lot of money to do that. So going forward, it's just different. It's different. But can it exist? It's going to exist because you look around, the white man's world is going out fast. Every day, their world is going out. So as their world is going out, our world is going to be here. It's here. So back to that in that question in that regard. In that regard, you have to, look at that and see that Islam is going to be here. Because the white man's world came in through murder and death. It's going to go out that way. So with us, we just got to start applying the deen and the law and living it. Like right now, where is the Muslim community? Like we always talk about, like the Spanish-speaking brothers and sisters on the south side. Where's ours at? Why don't we have that? We should have a place where our sisters can be and shop and, commune with each other and, whatever. We don't have that. And why it's not being talked about? Why it's not being talked about? It's not. I don't think it's a money issue. Why don't we have more mosques? Why do we have a mosque that's equal to the one on the south side, on the north side? So, domestic violence come out of stress. Out of stress. And a lot of it's financial stress because a brother, you see a sister, she's beautiful, but when it come down to it, at least with our brothers, they economically, we just not even on our brothers from the east. We're not even on their level. We're not. I've seen them make phone calls and get $10,000, even if they got to go from over east. We don't have that. We don't have that. We don't have that. Can we get that? Yeah, we can. But what nation do we deal with on the north side on an international level? We didn't even have a conversation, huh?
Nah.
Don't even have a conversation.
Far as we going is the garment district in New York or Koreatown in Chicago for the hair products.
Right. But what about those districts in other countries throughout the world? You got the internet you can travel on now. But then you got to look at the leadership at the Dawah Center. If your leadership is limited, your activity going to be limited. And I love Brother Will and the board, but for all practical purposes, their time done passed. Shift them past what they doing. But remember, we're talking about domestic violence. So tie in economics to the domestic violence. How are you living? We got pussies living on food stamps, on food share. But we supposed to have a wealth of Allah. And where's that being shown at? You know? The one sister we made mention of, which we're not gonna bring her name up, but for her to get to the level where she at, I think it's remarkable based on where she comes from. But as a woman, why she didn't start out like that? You know, why is not a brother in place in some type of industry, auto or real estate or something like that? And then, we still we at the low levels when it comes to making money. Real talk. We're at low levels. We are. We're talking about getting real money. We are. So how are our sisters living? Think about what Bianca's doing. She's not even 40. And then think about some of the sisters that come to the Dawah Center, even the ones in the NOI. They're not even on her level. And it's not about degrees. Because there's people in the mosque got them degrees in both mosques, but they're not doing what she's doing. So don't tell me about no degrees. I don't want to hear that. Kill that conversation. The degree thing is for white people. In their world. It don't work for us. So you got domestic violence, stress. A lot of times it start about who gonna pay what. Or I'm tired of living here. Why can't we do this? Well, I'm trying our best. Da, da, da. You understand what I'm saying? Just keep it 100. We gotta pull no punches about what it's about. And as brothers, we not really we not making no impact on the economy. We should have gas stations, bro. We should have places that sticks and tires, doing flats, all that. All that. In the trades, all that. And then you know what? Juma will be filled. You know why? Because you own your own business, you just close it down. If you work for the white man, you probably can't come on Friday. Well, I'll be there next Friday. I'm off next Friday. European holiday. I'm just keeping it 100, as we say. So, got stress.
But when it get to within the NOI, God forbid it get that far, but within the NOI, if it do become physically abusive and things like that, like how y'all deal with that?
Well, first of all, one of the laws, you hand on no sister. After the first warning, and the second warning, then it gets sticky to the point where if a brother is continue doing it, he's not going to be doing it no more. Then the brother's got to go talk to him.
Right.
Then it might be the case where the sister may decide that this is not going to work. We got to go another direction if it gets to that extreme. But in most cases, it don't get to that extreme. But in some cases, it does, because the same thing. The wrong people get married for the wrong reason. And a lot of times, go ahead.
Do you think that there's a pressure on the brothers and sisters to be married, to get married? Like, because like you say, for instance, a lot of the brothers come home from jail or whatnot, they start coming to the mosque, and man, you see them go hard like right away with looking for wives, you know what I mean?
Well, you got to remember, they in jail, either they're in the NOI or they're in a Sunni group, and they trying to change their life, and they know a wife will bring balance. Now, are they ready mentally? In some cases I've seen.
But that's where I'm getting at. Like, shouldn't it be something in place to where when them brothers coming home or otherwise and they start talking, and wanting to get wives,
they should have like a study group.
Yeah, shouldn't it be a training? Shouldn't it be something we go through, like to just basically get you ready for that, man? Because
it should just be a study group.
Marriage ain't never what we think it is. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but they should have a study group.
Yeah.
It could be a general study group, and then you roll into these various topics.
Well, you know what? Shout out. Matter of fact, I gotta mention this. Shout out to the brother Nazir. He do have some programs. He got them outstanding Muslim programs. I can't. I'm gonna get the information and I'm gonna post it for y'all. He got like outstanding parenting, outstanding Muslim relationships, and that brother. He's a good example. He got more than one wife, so he approach it from that aspect. He coach, and his wives coach as well. So I'm not going. So it is some things in place, but I'm gonna get that brother on the show because we got to do better at getting this information out there, because some people don't know about it.
Yeah, I think we spend too much time on trauma and drama stuff. That's in my opinion, and we already know enough about that.
Yeah.
We know enough about that. Like some of the stuff now with the shootings with all our young people. Like we know more about our young people running around with clips and all this stuff. But guess what? A lot of them saying young brother can't even read or write, bro.
Yeah.
Don't know multiplication table. They just walking drones. And then when the police ready to go in on them, they go in and take them out. They just jail, they shoot them. They say, oh, self-inflicted. Self-inflicted means we shot you in the head. See? And we don't want to talk about that because to a certain degree, we have accepted this subculture that the white man gives us that they can take us out at will and jail us. So we not preserving, and that's what the Muslim community should be coming in at. Every time there's an incident like that, we should have an imam or a person from the nation on the forefront say, no, we're going to stop this. But to stop, it's a twofold thing, though. We're going to do our part on our side, too.
Yeah.
The domestic violence, too, also comes in where you have sisters that get married to brothers. A lot of times they're married brothers. Got, resources, got some means. And what if he don't have any children? Or what if he had one and she has three and he wants one other child and she may be saying, no, I don't know about that right now. Now you got conflict. But she living a nice lifestyle, but she don't want to give him another child. See? And then you got Muslim sisters, these beautiful sisters, and
go ahead.
They get married, and the brother be loving them, and say he saying that he wants to have sex a couple times a week, and she cutting the water off. How that work? You married, and you married, and you telling your husband, I don't this and that. You doing the same thing that the women in the world doing?
Yeah.
He got you in this nice home, got a second home, all this. You enjoying all that, but you don't want to do your part. So we got to make sure we talk about both sides.
Yeah.
Because there are women that.
Now, even with touching on that particular topic there, like let's say that's the situation. He doing all his duties, providing all that, whatever. But in that aspect, nothing going down. She don't want to, whatever. So then what? I mean, do that. What position do that put him in now? I mean, because essentially no mean no. You know what I mean? So
then you got something called irreconcilable differences that, if there's no resolve, that has to cease to exist.
Yeah.
You have to go ahead and do that. But why stay?
Right.
Even though in Islam we look upon divorce differently, but we got a different society now. And Satan's world influences our society unless you don't have a TV, you ain't watching TV. See, because one thing I noticed with a lot of Muslim women from other countries, they don't watch a lot of these silly shows that our sisters watch, bro. They don't. Because they don't even want that poison in their mind. They don't listen to that. They don't listen to that music either. They ain't listen to no Cardi B, no Meg, and all that. They not. I'm talking about even the younger ones. They know about it, but they ain't got no earbuds on listening to that garbage. Cause what's Islamic about it? Nothing. Listen to some old school stuff or whatever, or some cultural stuff. So they're not even being programmed with this madness. You see what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was watching something. Who is it? Sherry Shepherd. Sherry Shepherd. What is she? She's an actress or something?
I think she was like a comedian, actress, yeah, that took over the Wendy Williams slot and all that, yeah.
She toxic, man. She a chubby sister that's toxic. Talking stuff, bro. And then you got Malika Andrews on NBA Today. She trying to be a prosecutor for brothers in the NBA, and she married to she got a white boyfriend, Jew boy. And Tamron Hall, she married to a Jew and gave him a baby. and trying to give sisters advice. And she got to be 48, 49. Malika younger than that, but she Diane Sawyer's granddaughter from CBS. No, ABC. The white lady, the white Jew lady. See what I'm saying? I'm Muslims indeed. They're not watching that stuff, bro. They watching no Jerry Springer, Ricky Lake. See? They're not watching that. They watching stuff that got knowledge. That gives knowledge.
Yeah.
Their children, their family, stuff. Positivity. You know what I mean?
But yeah, that's gonna be that's basically where the course of these conversations finna go, man, on for these Fridays. You know what I mean? It's gonna be I'm getting more people reaching out to me, so soon I'll have enough to make them continuously. You know what I mean? And we just gonna step inside the community. You know what I mean?
One thing I was thinking about, I'm gonna talk to my Saturday. I'll see the president of our neighborhood block club is to I want to have they have a sister circle.
Yeah.
I'm gonna think about doing a brother study group.
Yeah.
A weekly brother study group here, right here in my neighborhood, and we just gonna talk and deal with everything.
Yeah.
And I'll bring people in, whatever, because part of this new movement, or not new movement, but this thing dealing with mental health is brothers. This new generation of brothers don't have. Okay, put it this way. Like I noticed, like a lot of brothers in their 20s and 30s, they really don't have other brothers they can bond with and talk about stuff.
Yeah.
They hang with guys, but they don't have like nobody they can really entrust to deal with because they all.
It's only so much. It's only so much you can release, man. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you gotta stay protecting yourself, because one minute these cats be cool, next minute they into it. People taking, you give somebody your innermost secrets and they use them on social media later. You know what I mean? So
you know why that is? Because in the 90s, somewhere in the 90s, somebody broke the code.
Yeah.
They broke the code. So a lot of cats is in their 40s. They don't have that bonding either. Now I got, like, one of my partners just came out. He lives on my block. He's a year younger than me, and we still talk the same way how we talked when we was in high school. We went to the same high school.
Yeah.
I got at least a dozen partners like that. And they all don't live here, but the ones that do live here, we get together. We ride. Sometimes we go out or whatever. Some of them married, whatever. But outside of my FY brothers, I know I at least got 5 people I call. Some go down, they be here 5 minutes, and I do the same thing for them.
Yeah.
But we got to work on that brotherhood with this younger generation, because they don't understand what brotherhood means.
And that's another good point too. I had Tracy Denny, one of his brothers. I cannot remember this brother name for some reason. One of his brothers from his lodge, they Prince Hall Masons or whatnot, and they was kind of talking about that brotherhood within there and things like that. And I just used them as an example, be it the NOI, be it the Sunnis, be it whoever. Like, I want to show people these different brotherhoods and sisterhoods for the women groups and things that's out there, man. Y'all reach out to me. You can find me anywhere. I'm Sire Williams on all platforms. Just shoot me an inbox. I ain't got no assistant, so the message coming to me. If I'm slow on the reply, just wait a little bit. I'll get to you, or my number attached to my pages anyway, so I ain't tripping on phone calls and texts. But we gotta share that information, even the ones because there's some groups going on that I've typically ain't never been to or been a part of, but they going on. So we're gonna even take a look at some of those too, because like you say, we need to start showing them others something. You know what I mean? Gotta start showing them others.
We have to do it, but we need groups that got integrity.
Yeah.
That got receipts and a track record. A track record ain't I did an event and I took a picture with some white people. We're not talking about
Yeah,
that.
oh, yeah, that ain't what
The
I'm
only
talking
group that
about.
got it-
That ain't what I'm
Yeah.
talking about neither.
Okay. We got a lot of that going on in Milwaukee.
I'm talking about like you got, for instance, brothers like the Brother Six up there on Burla. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He been having these
Absolutely.
type of groups for years.
Right.
And it's just
Right,
like
right. Oh, yeah.
if you know,
I used to
you
go to
know.
the meet.
You know what I mean? It's like if you know, you know. But a lot of people
Right.
didn't know. You know, you don't typically see him participate in none of this social media stuff or none of this other stuff that we typically see every day. He ain't with it. He old school. You know what I mean?
Right. No, he not. And you know, even we have some brothers that have passed, like Brother Ron and Dr. Ron and others. But like I was telling people, the people that's around and know the brother, we supposed to pick up the baton and carry the race on and run stronger.
Yeah.
And our issue now is with our young brothers is we don't have nothing set up for them to get the necessary education so they can make some money.
Uh-oh, we getting a call here. What we got going on? 1 second. I don't think that was for me. All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so with this younger generation, it's just like they know something missing. They're in these homes where there's no man around. The mama doing the best she can. They trying to fight going into the street hustling and stealing cars. Then there's the issue, their education. Some of them can't read and write. They're ashamed of it. You know? So it's something that can be resolved. But first, as men, we need circles of brothers to sit down just so they can come and talk. And then you got another thing they'll talk about is the amount of homelessness among teenagers in Milwaukee.
Yeah.
So what they do is they may have a friend whose mom or maybe his dad, but most of his mom, where they can lay their head at, you know, because they having issues with their mama or whatever on whatever the issue is, right?
Yeah.
And they're doing that. But the question is, why is there homelessness? And the reason for homelessness is because as men, we have not taken control of the economics in our community. As black men, we're not on no level. We haven't. You can't point to nothing that we control and dominate. You can't say the drug trade because they getting their drugs from the white man. Some of them getting directly from the police. See? And we got to look at that. And myself and Brother Nazir, we talked about that some years back. You know? So, and then what happens too, Ak, is the bougie people in the community, bougie because they don't want to mix with the brothers in the inner city, in the north side. They out there in the suburbs, they only want to deal with people that's like them. Because the first thing they said, man, they not going to listen. I said, but you was one of them. You listen. How you get brand new? See? How you get brand new? You go out to 7 Mile Fair, man. The Latin brothers, the Hispanic community, they dominate 7 Mile Fair.
Yeah.
We going out there being consumers.
Yeah.
They got little small companies. So yeah, we got these black aldermen that don't do SHIT. You know? Economically, that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I ain't talking about, I voted against the tax increase. Okay. But did you vote for money to go to black businesses and black contractors, buy equipment so they can do streets and do X, Y, and Z? Hell no. You ain't even legislating nothing.
Yeah.
So when you talk about domestic violence, I think at the core of it is finance and economics. Because when you marry a woman, now we're in the same house, bro, it take more than 2 jobs. Especially when these jobs are not paying nothing now.
Better know it.
that show you, just like I was talking to a friend of mine now. He left FedEx because he was getting $22 an hour. You know what they did? They cut his hours to 19 hours a week. Because business is down. So I told him, I said, you better off being a contractor doing your own thing. Man, I'm just going to find another job. Well, that's affecting all the economy. So certain parts of the economy where you can still make money, but on that delivery thing, the delivery is slowing down a little bit. You better off being a cab driver. That business ain't going nowhere. How about auto mechanics, stuff like that. And these are, like when I was growing up, bro, I know how to use auto tools. So my dad was right there. He showed me how. Well, we had cabs, so I had no choice but to work on cabs. That was no option on that one. Changing tires, and leading brakes, and, changing flats, and all that, bro. I did all that. Along with fixing flats in the neighborhood. Yep. So that's these are some things that we have, and I'm thinking about having a study group once a week over here. It's taking the concept from the nation, taking it right to the community. We got to take the dean right to the community.
Yeah.
People are not coming to the church. They're not. They're not coming to the mosque.
Got that right. I remember having a conversation with a brother years ago saying, man, we got to come up out the malls, Art.
We got to come up out the malls.
We got to hit the street. We got to come up out of there. And shout out, you got some brothers that's doing that too. Don't get me wrong. You got some brothers that are doing that.
Why we don't have Dean in the park? Take the Dean right to the park. Bring out the mask. Get Brother Hatim do some martial arts. You got to make the religion effective. Brothers want to fight. All they still doing 30 seconds, whatever that is. Show them how to fight for real. Most of them ain't got no hands. That's why they got guns. You take the gun away, they getting straight. It's a straight KO on the spot. KO, right?
Trigger Tachi.
Man, right? I mean, open hand, backhand to the back of the head. You know what I mean? So, these are things we got to look at because we got to preserve our women, protect our women, honor our women. And you can't be a provider and protector if you don't have the resources to do that. You ever wonder why you see some of the older TV shows, even some of the newer ones, you always see the guy who got the fresh gear, the nice car, the good looks. He always gets the best looking girl, best looking woman. That's never changed. It has not. Yeah. And then the last thing I'm gonna throw in there, I don't want to forget, is my brother married sister. Now she done picked up 100 pounds. Is he supposed to still love her the same?
And the sister's gonna say he picked up a belly too.
What if he did? Yeah, they might say that, but what if he did?
Right.
What if he just don't want his wife to be that way?
I hear that.
You know what I'm saying? He paying. He doing this. And if anybody should be getting big, it should be him.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You see some of these Muslim, like I remember when that dad was over at the mosque, bro, on the south side. Man, I had to put some oil in my neck, bro. There's so many beautiful women. But when you look at their hands, you see them rocks on their hand, bro. It's just like they went straight to the mine and had the wedding band made. Oh, that brother, he's a goldsmith. He makes the run in his SUV. Kid you not.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about beautiful African and Arab, the whole nine. Hi, brother. And they bouncing around, you know, like they floating.
Yeah.
Got the expensive Muslim dresses on. He just felt like he was in a different world. Then we got to come back to this over here. Long dookie braid. Long eyelash. So, overweight women squeezing themselves in biker shorts.
Yeah, it's a process, man. It's a process of elimination, and most of us don't get it right. But we're going to get on up out of here, get over to the music. Thanks for your call, as always, man, checking in with us.
Thanks for having me.
Giving us the Ram report, man. You keep it locked. Hey, we're going to smooth it out, y'all. I'm going to give y'all some R&B, man. We're going to ride it out, y'all. Make sure y'all stick around. 12 o'clock, we got the Munchie mixes up. 1 o'clock, we Dean bopping, man, with some of your favorite Muslim rappers, man, and they halal remixes and all that. So y'all make sure y'all keep it locked and stay tuned, man. Hey, gonna get back with you. Assalamu alaikum, Maki.
Wa alaikum salam.
This is HittingHardRadio.com.
Make sure you tune in to the morning shift, MKE Uncut, Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on HittingHardRadio.com. You can also watch on Facebook from the Post of the City page. Hey. The morning shift, MKE Uncut, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. right here on HittingHardRadio.com. Real topics, real news you can use, you dig? You can also catch us at the Post of the City page on Meta or Facebook or HittingHardRadio.com.
Pitch Control.
The morning shift, MKE Uncut on HittingHardRadio.com. Yo, for the most newest music, the best music from the old school music to today, catering to the independents, HittingHardRadio.com.